Stop what you're doing and look at this. Two huge animals just chilling out on a Brighton lawn.
Yeah, social media has been buzzing about this today. Are these wolves? Are these coyotes? Are they a mix of the two? What are these guys? Boston 25 News reporter John Monahan, you talked to a woman who was trapped inside her car because those coyotes were in her yard.
That's right, Vanessa and Mark, and she sat there for about 20 minutes, actually pulled out her phone to document the whole thing. Now, we've seen lots of stories, we've reported on lots of things, actually, about coyotes being seen all around the Boston area. And tonight, that includes right here in our own Boston 25 parking lot. In fact, on Sunday night, one of our co-workers came out of the building, and he came face to face with a coyote right here. Take a close look at these two coyotes hanging out in a Brighton backyard just as Jillian Campbell got home from work.
That was my first thought. Like, this is way bigger than a coyote I've ever seen.
So big, she just sat there wondering.
My first thought was, how am I going to get into my house?
No one was home, so Jillian shot this video to prove she wasn't seeing things.
I stayed in my car for probably like 15-20 minutes and they just didn't leave.
Jillian kept taking video of her visitors and then posted it on social media. A lot of people chimed in on social media about the size of these coyotes, saying they're well fed, or that they must be a mix of coyote and wolf, a coy wolf, or they're simply too big and they've got to be wolves. Well, we reached out to a mass wildlife expert, and he tells us the real reason these coyotes look so big. He says it's their winter coat.
If you look at that same animal in the summer, it looks a fraction of the size because that coat is fluffed up and it adds, several inches of just fur in all dimensions.
Dave Waddles is an expert on fur-bearing animals. He says it's not uncommon to see them in the city.
It's important to remember that these coyotes are born and raised in Boston, so they're used to people, they're used to traffic and the sights and sounds of a modern city.
We've even seen them at Boston 25. Watch as this guy wandered right through our parking lot Sunday night, headed for the gate, but then turned. All of it caught on our surveillance cameras. And Mass Wildlife offering some tips to prevent coyote conflicts. First of all, don't leave any kind of pet food outside. That includes bird feeders, your dog food, your cat food. Secondly, if you have a coyote on your property, he says to haze it. That means to scream, to yell, to bang pots and pans. You don't want them comfortable on your property like those coyotes in Brighton were. And lastly, if you have a pet, protect it. That means keep it on a leash to keep it close to you so that it doesn't wander off in the yard where it could become something the coyote might go for. Some things to keep in mind as these coyote sightings become more common. We're live in Dedham tonight. I'm John Monahan for your local station, Boston 25 News.